Okay, well, you'll notice in this video that the background that we're looking at, this is the PSD that's currently on Dropbox. The background's different in this one than it was in the videos that Sean created. The background and the Photoshop file used that Sean was using for the video that he put together is the correct one, and that is not currently on Dropbox, so that's why they look different. We're going to get the newest PSD on Dropbox so you can use that. But for the purpose of this video, it doesn't really matter what the background looks like because I'm not really going to be talking about that. So just keep in mind that there will be a new Photoshop file. So like Sean outlined in his video, there's the Properties tab up here, and there actually needs to be two properties links for furnished properties and then unfurnished properties. And that can either, if we can squeeze that into the top where we have furnished properties and then unfurnished properties as two separate main links, that's fine. If we can't do that space-wise, then we can have properties as a drop-down. So when someone scrolls over properties, you'll see a drop-down here that has unfurnished and furnished properties. And we should probably put furnished on top. So furnished and then unfurnished properties. If someone clicks on the actual link properties up here, that should slide them down to the very first property section down here. Because again, this is primarily a one-page website. So when someone clicks on home or someone clicks on about, we want the page to slide up and down to the different sections. So if someone clicks on properties, it should slide them to the furnished property section because that's first. If someone obviously clicks on furnished properties in the drop-down, that should slide to that same section. If someone clicks on unfurnished, it should slide down to the unfurnished section. Same with contact. The about area should be self-explanatory, that the copy for that area right here should be on Basecamp. This section here is not going to look like what you see right here. This was just kind of filler content that was put in here. So, like I've explained, the first section, this won't just say properties, this will say furnished properties as the title for this section. And let's see, this will be a web app. Okay, so again, ignore all these lots of thumbnails that you're seeing right here. What it's actually going to look like is we need the furnished property copy that explains what the furnished property section is on the left. So maybe a third of the content area, so a third of all this area will be the description text that's on Basecamp for furnished properties. It just gives an overview of what the furnished properties are. And the other 2/3, so in this section here, there needs to be a web app that shows the different furnished properties, and there aren't that many of them. Again, like you see here, there's a bunch of thumbnails. This is just filler content. There's not a whole lot of properties. So what we can do is have, I'm guessing a 2x2 or 2 columns, a 2-column list view of the furnished properties. So again, on the 1/3 of the area, we have the description. On the other 2/3, we have 2 columns, list view for the web app for furnished properties. And there will be a thumbnail, a main thumbnail for each furnished property. Now, if someone clicks on one of those furnished property thumbnails, it needs to take them to a detail view for that web app. And the detail view will have description text for that property along with a photo gallery of pictures for that property. Okay, that's the only page, the only time that someone will basically break away from this one-page layout that we're seeing right here is when they visit the detail view for only furnished properties. Okay, so someone clicks on a furnished property thumbnail, takes them to the detail view. And the detail view won't have any of this. So basically, the template, I suppose, for the detail view would have all of this right here cut out, and all the content would be cut out. So really all it is the top navigation here with this wood up against the top, this background for properties, and then the description text for that property, and then the photo gallery for that property. And then the content area doesn't need to exist there. But there does need to be a link. Instead of maybe top right here, this could say go back, because there's nothing really to go to the top of at this point when you're looking at the detail view. So it may change this button to say go back instead of top, and that'll take the person back to the previous page. So that's the furnished properties. Now the unfurnished properties needs to look the same. So again, this will say furnished properties. You scroll down, there needs to be another section with this same background before contact that says unfurnished properties. And just like the furnished properties, the left 1/3 needs to be a description of what the unfurnished properties are. And then just like the furnished properties, there needs to be a separate web app for unfinished properties. That's, again, 2 columns, and there aren't very many pictures. Now the difference between the unfurnished properties and the furnished properties is that unfurnished properties don't have a detail view. All that someone sees is the thumbnails. Okay, they can't click on the thumbnail. Underneath each of the thumbnails, there needs to be a link that says get more information. So you can see right here that more info is the link that's used. Again, that was filler content. That button should say get more information. When someone clicks on that, all it's going to do is slide the page down to the contact form down here at the bottom. That same get more info needs to be on the furnished properties section also under each thumbnail. So for furnished properties, we need the get more info button, and then we need to also have a details button next to it. That's not, unfurnished properties doesn't have the details, only furnished properties. So for furnished properties, there needs to be a button that says details. If you click on details, that takes you to the detail page. If you click on more info, that again, just like the unfurnished section, will slide you down to the contact at the bottom here. So hopefully that all makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know, but we're going to work on getting the newest PSD revised and put on Dropbox as soon as possible here. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. But that should be all you need for Seapoint. Let's get this done quick. It should be a quick job.